Welcome to Issues and Insights. My name is Alina Chesser, and yeah, I'm a little raspy today. I woke up with a sore throat, but we're going to get through this together. And today I am sitting with President and CEO DeVitt Sweeney. Sweeney. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I do work at Central Kentucky Community Foundation, and I know that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. I've been with the foundation since 2010.
Okay.
So that's getting to be a few years now.
Yeah, that is.
And really enjoy the work that we do there. And I've lived in Elizabethtown since 2008.
Awesome. So can you tell us what kind of donations you all accept and where the money goes?
Sure. We accept a variety of gift forms, so thinking about everything from cash, checks, stocks and bonds, as well as real estate, and a variety of assets and ways that they can come to us through different channels. And then the beautiful thing about what we do is the gifts go back out into the community for what donors want and what they care about.
Great.
So it's not any one area that gifts are going back out into the community. It's a wide variety of community issues and projects that we support.
That's awesome. So tell us about the foundations. I know I saw a few, like the Lahoma Route Foundation.
So at the Community Foundation, we have a variety of funds.
Okay.
We have over 240 funds, each one with a unique personal name and a specific purpose for the fund. And so our job is to work to carry out the mission of each fund. And so, for example, the Lahoma Route Fund helps support youth in our community to attend church camps and mission trips, as well as it also has an education component to help provide some support for early learners in our community.
So I believe I read also that you all have a scholarship program.
Yes, we do administer a pretty significant size scholarship program every year called Scholarship Central, where students from throughout our region, we actually serve 9 counties around Hardin County, can apply for scholarships regardless of where they're planning to go to school, regardless of what particular high school they may go to. So we have a lot of scholarships. Students can complete one application, and from the answers they give to that, it will help narrow down which scholarships they're eligible for.
Now, can they receive more than one scholarship?
They can.
Oh, that's really good. College is expensive.
It sure is.
So can you tell us why people choose to donate with you? Like, is it because they're in the community so much or have deep roots here?
So a lot of people choose to give with a community foundation because we are geographic centric, because we are here, we're local, we know about what's going on in the community, we can help with education and awareness and connections. So if someone's interested in a certain area of community life, like early childhood education, we are involved with the different organizations, schools, and what's going on there, so we can help share with them those opportunities and then share back that impact. Now, just because we're located here and we're focused here doesn't mean that we can't send dollars and that people giving through us can't support other areas. I think last year we actually sent grant dollars to over 20 states.
Wow.
Through either scholarships or grants. And in some years we've actually sent money internationally. So we're not limited to only working in this region, but this region is where we say we have expertise, and we can be of the most benefit to people. But if someone knows they want to support Doctors Without Borders or a college that they attended in another state, it's not an issue to give money that way as well.
That's really cool. So I also saw that Youth Sports and Dolly Parton Imagination Library, you guys support those too.
Yes, so we help coordinate the efforts for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library in Hardin County. So that's a great program that sends a book each month to children birth to 5. On their 5th birthday, they get their sort of graduation, their final book before they go off to kindergarten. And that's not a cheap program for our community to support, but it is open and free to anybody to enroll that lives in Hardin County with children that age. So we help raise the money to support that. So I'm supporting a child with a book a month for 5 years. Although the Imagination Library program helps offset some of the expenses, it is incumbent upon the local community to help raise some of the support for that as well.
So do you take gently used books, or do they have to be new?
Okay, so it is not a book donation program. It is a program where the students get the children get a book in the mail.
Yeah.
And it is selected through a process that the Imagination Library has, where they're picking those developmentally appropriate books, giving them a wide variety of topics and ideas, and so they mail and distribute those books. There are great programs in our community where people can donate new and used books, like the little free libraries you may see around. Some schools take them as well. But for this program, it is more that we're raising dollars to help pay for those books to be mailed to children.
Great. So I saw online that it's simple to donate with you because you had advisors that help along the way. So can you tell us about how they help personalize, how they choose the next fund that they want to do, and about the tax advantage as well?
So every conversation we have about a fund starts with a donor and what matters to them. What do you care about? Is that you may care about scholarships, or you may care about your church, or some other causes in the community, such as youth development or recreation, healthy lifestyles. And we ask focused questions to help hone in on, what kind of impact would you like to make, what's important to you, and how do we best structure this to have it do what you'd like to see accomplished in the community. And so that's where we start, and we help piece together what that giving and that ultimate program can look like for them. So it's all very, very personalized.
That's great. What about a first-time donator, somebody who's never donated to a charity? How can you help them?
And so what I just described is what we do with somebody that's maybe interested in creating a fund for something that they know they specifically care about and want to do. But it's also really easy to go online at our website, CKCF, the number 4people.org, and click the donate button. And from there you can see a lot of those 240 funds that I mentioned, and read a little bit about them and see what they do in our community, like the Imagination Library Fund or a youth sports fund, as well as scholarship funds. When people start looking, they'll end up seeing people and names that they know on those scholarship lists and think, oh, you know what, I would like to add to that scholarship fund, or I want to help give out books to our young learners, and they can click on that Donate Now button, make a one-time gift, or set up a recurring gift if it's something they're really passionate about.
Yeah, and talking about recurring donations, I also saw that you guys do a 401k and insurance. So if someone passes, can their estate go to you every month?
So there's several ways that people can think about charitable giving in their estate plans, and some of that involves getting started while they're still here with us on earth. And that adds a lot of value. It gives people a chance to really think about and hone in and see what their giving does, and make adjustments to their estate plan if they want to make some tweaks. We can accept distributions from IRAs, so that happening, while people are alive. Once you reach a certain age, and that depends on what year you were born right now, it's a tiered age. People have to take a distribution from their IRA. It's called the Required Minimum Distribution, or RMD. And so they can choose to have that directed toward charitable purposes that they care about, to qualified organizations, and that helps then reduce their taxable income. So if somebody is giving to charities anyway, instead of writing the check from their personal account, they can have it sent directly from their IRA to satisfy that required minimum distribution, and then they avoid the income on that distribution.
And I would think that you guys are a 501c3.
Correct.
So you are recognized as a charitable
Yes.
donation.
And with that IRA or life insurance, a charity can also be set as the beneficiary on those. So then ultimately when somebody does pass, it can say, okay, we want the such and such fund at Central Kentucky Community Foundation to be the beneficiary of this retirement plan or this life insurance policy. And that could be the Imagination Library Fund, a fund that supports the community in general, or it could be a specific fund that they've established that carries out specifically what they want to do.
So, and we talked that it's simple to navigate on the website as well. But what about navigating these assets? Do you all help if a person says, hey, when I pass, I want this much money to go to you all? Do you help get those forms filled out?
We can. Of course, ultimately that needs to be completed by the donor, and their intent and their true purpose. But we can, sometimes those things can be a little confusing, a lot of steps, a lot of jargon, and we can definitely help break down, explain things, work in conjunction though with their professionals, if they have a financial advisor, if they have an attorney, a CPA, to sort of be the philanthropic liaison and bring some expertise from the philanthropy side while they depend on their financial advisors and CPAs for their areas of expertise. But I find when people bring all of those folks together and coordinate what they're planning to do, it works better, and they usually end up saving money and more satisfied with the outcome.
That's great. That really is. So I also know that if you choose a foundation, that's the foundation all of the proceeds are going to go to. It's not like they're going to use it somewhere else, right?
If you choose like what kind of foundation?
Like if you choose the scholarship fund, then it's not going to go to other places.
Correct. So the biggest thing that drives our work is donor intent. And sometimes that can be hard for people to look at and say, well, you've got $40 million in assets. We need money for, a playground or project graduation. But the vast majority, like 95% of our assets are dedicated for certain purposes. And that's the only way those dollars can be spent. So when somebody gives to a scholarship fund or gives to a designated fund for a particular organization, the only place those monies will ever go is for that purpose. We do commingle the dollars, of course, for investment purposes and to increase our opportunities for buying securities and things and getting a better return for all of our donors. But the actual dollars will only be used for what they were dedicated to at the time of the gift.
So can you tell us about how much funding you all have received? So is it, is it over, I think I saw that it was over 36 million in totality. Mm-hmm. So how much yearly do you think?
So we'll do anywhere from $2 to $3 million in gifts per year. And then on the grant side, we, I think, gave out $1.8 million last year in grants.
Wow, that's great too. How is operations set up? Tell us about your board and other members and how they are in the community as well.
As a 501c3 organization, our board is an important part of guiding the work that we do. They set our direction, they bring in valuable expertise from their walks of life, but they are also volunteers. And so that is an important component. Our board members are not paid, even though they bring immense value and put a lot of time into our work. They are volunteers, and so they guide our work. They are important connection points to us in the community to have our eyes and ears on what's going on and to see where we can best plug in and to make sure that we're responding to community needs.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of them, or even yourself, how you connect to the community?
Sure. Our current board chair is Beth Lockmiller. She's an attorney with Lockmiller Bond here in Elizabethtown. We have Chris Carter with Sarity Partners as our vice chair and treasurer. And Dustin Humphrey with Skeeters, Bennett, Wilson, and Humphrey in Radcliffe is our current secretary. So our officers serve 2-year terms. We have 18 people in total on the board right now, with people from several of our surrounding counties, since we do serve a 9-county region. So We have someone from Hart County and a couple folks from Nelson County, Meade, Breckenridge County,
That's wonderful.
trying to make sure that we've got those touch points beyond our Hardin County area.
So, since everybody is connected and it's volunteer work, how often do you guys meet?
Our board meets 6 times a year as a full board, and then we have board committees that meet regularly throughout the year, advancing their particular areas of work.
So, is there no owner to the positions? Like nobody owns the charity?
Nobody owns a 501c3. It is its own entity and governed by a board of directors.
Oh, that's great to know too. And if they donate, you can give them a tax number, is that right?
Donors to qualified charities or 501c3 organizations can deduct their charitable gift on their tax return. And so that's an important piece for donors to consider when they're making gifts, particularly if they itemize, that the places they're directing dollars are tax qualified to offer them that tax deduction. There are some other great projects and nonprofits in our community that do great work that just aren't 501c3s,
Yeah.
and that's okay for people to support if it's something they're passionate about, as long as they know then that gift in particular is not tax deductible.
I'm a Kentucky Colonel, and actually that's kind of what Kentucky Colonels do as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of different areas that we have for donations.
Mm-hmm.
So when you donate, you can kind of pick and choose what
Yeah.
you want to do.
Additionally, we offer the Endow Kentucky tax credit, which is a little different from a deduction. It adds on to the deduction and allows people to get a credit on their Kentucky income tax due when they make gifts to a certified community foundation. We just finished that season of work right now. July 1 is the Endow Kentucky application window every year.
Oh, that's great too. So what about youth sports? I know that's a big deal around here, and I know that we have some kids that really can't afford their uniforms and helmets and pads for football.
Our youth sports fund helps provide scholarships to children who otherwise financially might not be able to participate in recreational sports. So it's all about giving children that opportunity to be part of a team, to learn responsibility, to have other adult mentors in their life through coaches and other parents that they might not have because of the financial cost to participate.
Yeah.
And we know that those experiences have a lot of value for children. So this is, we've been operating the Youth Sports Fund since 2018. We had donors in our community that knew how important those experiences were to them and saw how the cost was a barrier,
Yeah.
and they helped fund that. This year we've already given out over $4,000 in scholarships to youth leagues, which, at $80 to $100 a pop,
Yeah.
that's a lot of kids that we've been able to help. And although $80 or $100 might not seem like that much, for families that may have multiple children or have unique economic situations, that can make a difference.
And that donation, that money goes to the team, or does it go to the person?
So we pay it directly to the leagues for the person that we have selected for the scholarship.
Okay.
So it always ties to the person. It's not just a general
Donation.
gift to the league or the sports team, but it is paid directly to them, not to the child.
Gotcha. Well, I think that would help to balance everything out.
Mhm.
We all like to know where the money's going.
Exactly, and that's part of what we offer to donors, is we offer that ongoing tracking and accountability on how their dollars are used.
Yeah, no, that's a positive, and I'm sure everybody follows that, or I hope they do, right? So, with all of that, you have events coming up. Can you tell me about some of the events?
Sure. We have our annual luncheon coming up in September, on September 25th. It will be here in Elizabethtown, and that's celebrating community philanthropy. And that is a luncheon program where we just showcase some of the great work that happens in our community through people's generosity. So I'm not gonna give away what we're gonna talk about that day, but every year we share heartfelt stories of what people have given to, why it matters, but more importantly, what has happened because of the gifts that they've made. Last year we talked about a Julie Sutton Shoes Fund, which helps provide shoes for low-income children in Meade County. And it was started in memory of Julie right before she passed away from cancer. And this past August, we gave out 83 pair of shoes.
Wow, that's awesome.
to children in Meade County. And then we had somebody else come along and say, you know, I want to add on to that, and we were able to do another 25 pair here in Hardin County. So that initiative is really growing, and we're excited to see how that comes to grow over the years. In 10 years, I'm excited to see how it will play out. But that was one of the stories we shared at Celebrating Community Philanthropy last year, and we've got some good ones again this year.
I was a deputy before my spinal cord injury, and I did shop with a cop.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a young girl, and when we got her on the bus and I was sitting with her, she said, I want Barbie shoes. I want Barbie shoes. That's all she wanted was Barbie shoes. And I said, well, we'll look at them and see what we can get. And she ended up with princess shoes, but she was still as excited for those.
It's important that even when we're giving, that we are doing it that lets people have dignity and have input and get things that really resonate and connect with them. And that's what I like about the way Julie Sutton Shoes is set up. The children or parents tell us, you know, these colors, this size, they like this style. So that as much as possible we can find those matches.
That's good.
We also have coming up in November Community Foundation Week, which we like to celebrate, of course, and part of that week is National Philanthropy Day. And on National Philanthropy Day every year we give out grant awards to nonprofits in our community. We're in the grant evaluation piece right now, so I don't know how many we're going to give out this year. But last year we gave out about $150,000 to our nonprofits through their grant applications.
So can you tell us who you would submit the grant writings to and information on that?
We have an online application portal for our grants that nonprofits can create an account, and then it will show the various grant opportunities that are out there. They can look and see which ones might fit with what they're doing and make that application. For this year, the applications were due August 1st, so we're going through our evaluation process, scoring those grants to be able to ultimately make those awards in November.
And when will the grants be available again to apply for?
They will be available again next year in late May or early June.
Okay, awesome. Now, with giving and accessing everything, is there one piece of advice that you could give people that is their first time donating to your organization?
I would say just know what matters to you. Think about what is going to feel good to you to make a difference. Giving should be personal. It should be something that you care about. And that just takes a little time, you know, thinking through that in your head. Some people know exactly, like there have been things in their life that have led them to say, I really care about this. I'm passionate about that. And that's great. But if you're not quite there yet, have some conversations, do some research. Sometimes it's helpful to go and volunteer some places and see what either those needs or those opportunities are. You know, we focus a lot of times on things like shoes for people that might not have them, or food for hungry people, and those are immensely important. But there's also a lot of things that go on in our community that are philanthropic, that make our community a better place, like building out green space trails and bridges for those, and instruments for Hardin County Schools, starting an orchestra, those kinds of things that also help enhance our community and give more opportunities. So I think dedicating dollars to both is important.
Can you tell me about, when you said orchestra and stuff, do you know any details on that? Because I was in the orchestra too, so I'm kind of curious.
Well, that's just one example of things that we've seen be funded in the past. So I'm not involved with that project directly, so I would probably not be the best person to talk about where they are specifically. But I think it's a wonderful opportunity for children to have here locally. Up until now, for most things, people have had to drive to Louisville to have those lessons or be part of an orchestra. And being able to make that more local will just increase access.
So notable. I am in a wheelchair. I'm a wheelchair user. Do you all have programs that connect with disabled people in this community and around?
So we have some that will give consideration to that. We don't have a particular grant that is dedicated just for that, but we also work with we have 2 or 3 funds that are dedicated for adults with mental challenges,
Yep.
mental disabilities, and we're seeing a lot of change and growth in the work that those organizations are doing right now, and that's really exciting to see how some of the walls and the stigma is coming down
Yeah.
around those situations.
Yeah, and thankfully I've got to advocate and be a part of that change that we see. And you see it even on commercials and things like that now.
Definitely.
So you also talked about dignity in donation, and I agree with that a lot. But sometimes we don't see that happen. Is there something that you could tell us to encourage that dignity?
I think it's trying, and it sounds trite, but trying to both meet people where they are, but not use the people that we help, not exploit them.
Yeah.
And exploit's probably a strong word, and I
I
don't
think
think
it could be that.
I don't think people ever intend to do that, but sometimes it can come across that way.
Right.
And it's helpful for donors to hear stories of impact.
Yeah.
It really is, and we have people that are willing to share those stories, and that is great. But sometimes we have to be willing to give for a purpose that we believe in without knowing the specific individual that benefits,
Yeah.
or without getting their whole story, because that's a personal respect situation, and that's a balance that we walk, and I hope we walk it well, but it's always something that we're cognizant of and navigating. And we've had a couple of families who were beneficiaries of, say, the Lahoma Route Scholarship, and they were just so thrilled to have received it, and they volunteered to tell their story and why it was impactful, and that's great.
Yeah, that is great.
But if we have families that are getting shoes because families can't afford to buy shoes for their children, they may not want that broadcast, and that is perfectly okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, thank you for joining me today. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I'm sure our viewers are going to learn a lot too. And I really hope that your foundation keeps growing and encompassing more people. And
Well,
I think
thank
it's wonderful what you're doing, not just here in Hardin County, but all around as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.